Now I turn the camera on and now I'm gonna have to start talking. What's going on, guys? This is a very different type of video. I'm gonna wear in front of you guys actually. What is the name of that fragrance? Acqua Di Gio Absolu Instinct. This is a brand new release. I just got a sample from Sephora. You know those Sephora samples. That's gonna be my first, my scent of the day and the first wearing and the first impressions. Well, not really entirely because I've actually sprayed it once on my hand yesterday, so it's not really a first impressions. But I'm just gonna wear this. Today I'm just gonna go through with it. And see what I got out of it with you guys, spontaneously. This is actually my camera, quick, no setup, nothing, because I'm actually just got my shower and I'm heading to work. So I'm just gonna, before I spray this, I'm gonna see the notes. Actually, that's the first time I read the notes right now, which is amberwood, sea notes, seaweed, what else? What else? Ebony woods, lemon, citruses, and patchouli, and all the good stuff. Okay, so it's got some unusual notes here. Uh, Actually, I've smelt it, but I smelt it with way too many other fragrances, and I had some fragrances on, so I wouldn't really say that's a first impressions because I know that I liked it, but I could be wrong because my nose wasn't the bestest at a time. So let's just. It smells actually pretty good. I pick up the woods. I can pick up more of you, you know, the sharpness of a cedar wood, but as sweet at the same time. I picked up that right away. It's the lemony blast is very good. The seaweed actually, it's salty. It's a very pleasant summery fragrance. I really like it a lot. It seems like it's projecting off my skin. The opposite of when I sprayed it off my hand yesterday, but like I told you, my nose wasn't the bestest at a time. So it's definitely salty, definitely greener. So the seaweed note here is apparent as well, and that woody undertone nuances are there as well, but it's not woody. It's not woody in the terms that you guys know woody as. It's different. It's very pleasant. I'm very pleased actually with this fragrance for being of this first impressions, a salty, summery, vacationy type of a fragrance, but with the woodsy, actually pleasant, summery, woodsy undertone. So this is gonna be it for that as of right now. I'm just gonna keep you posted with my phone throughout the day and see if this video is gonna come out well. If not, it is what it is, guys. Peace. All right, what's going on, guys? It's around 5 o'clock right now, and I put on the fragrance around 9. So it has been, what, like 8 hours in or so? And I can still detect the fragrance. It's a skin scent, yes, and I put on a couple of sprays on my t-shirt, as you guys saw earlier. And it's a little windy, so I kind of, every time the wind blows, I kind of detect the fragrance, like kind of wafts around my body aura. When I first sprayed this fragrance on in front of you guys, it was barely a blast of citruses, salty with the green nuances. It's very pleasant, but what I really like about it that even though it's a very salty fragrance and there's way too many salty fragrances nowadays, it's not overly sporty or salty. It's a very elegant fragrance. Ginger nose. We're gonna go straight. After this fragrance dried down in a little bit, let's just say after the 30-minute mark or so, it reminded me of two different fragrances in a weird way. It reminded me of the dry down of Gio Homme Sports, the 2012 version, which is one. I truly love the elegance of Gio Homme Sport, and I feel like this fragrance has the same elegance as Gio Homme Sport. And I don't know, I'm gonna have to respray Gio Homme Sport when I go back home and wait until it dries down and compare them side by side, because I just got some nuances of Dior Sport, like 110%. Also, I got vibes of the dry down also of La Nuit de l'Homme in a way. And the reason why this fragrance reminded me of those two fragrances in a weird way, just because when this fragrance dried down, the first phase of the dry down, it loses the citrusy vibe in a way. The citrusy phase starts to gradually fade little by little into the more salty green nuances. That is the first phase I noticed about the dry down to me personally today. And then there's the second phase of the dry down. That's when the woodsy nuances starts to really pop up. I detected the woodsy nuances from the beginning, but they kind of like comes and goes. They are very light and they're not very detectable as easy as the other nuances. But at the second phase, when the woodsy and the warm woods and I think what other woods they have starts to pop up, that's when it gives that elegant vibe. That was the element to me personally. What gives this fragrance that elegance, like super elegance phase. It's still strong. It projects and it gives wafts everywhere you move, but without being obnoxious. I asked a couple of my coworkers today about the fragrance, and they smelled it right away. And I asked them about the projection. They told me medium projection, and that was an hour in wearing the fragrance because it takes me an hour to get to work. Uh, and it was still like projection pretty well, and everybody liked it. I didn't really get unsolicited compliments because I honestly I didn't really see a lot of people today besides a couple of my coworkers, but everybody I asked, um, they smelt it, they noticed it, and they liked it. One thing though, I was wandering around just trying to find that Acqua Di Gio DNA pretty much this whole time, and I couldn't find it at all. I couldn't really notice any Acqua Di Gio DNA. So I couldn't tell if this is an Acqua Di Gio flanker, if I smelt it of somebody else and I didn't know about this fragrance until the third phase of the dry down. I told you this fragrance is like a chameleon of my skin today, and that's when I started to get some phases of the very dry down of the Acqua Di Gio Absolu. Absolu is another great version of the Acqua Di Gio. Honestly, I didn't get any DNA of the nuances of any other flanker, but the Absolu at some certain parts of that drive down, and then it just fades away again into the woodsy, warm, woody, patchouli phase. This fragrance is not sweet by any means. It's definitely woodsy, especially when it drives down, but it just gave me some DNA of the Absolute version. And it was definitely still on the saltier side though. The warm woods here also gives it some warm, woody vibe. It reminded me a lot of a sweaty vibe. So the warm woods is not really woodsy. It's not in your face. Just love the sweaty, smoky vibe that it gives, especially with the patchouli. The patchouli here, it's very noticeable, especially when it dries down, but without being a skanky or a hippie patchouli. It's definitely there, and I'm pretty sure it enhances the longevity of the fragrance, and it gives the fragrance also a kick. And the patchouli here also is different than the patchouli from the Profumo version. The Profumo, it's more of a in-your-face patchouli, but here combined with the warm woods and everything else, everything here in this fragrance is very well balanced. So you're not gonna find anything too much of anything, pretty much. So that's what I really like about it. It's not something obnoxious. It's not something that would. It's not something that would. It's not something that would annoy people. Hold on, Mama. Hold on. It's not something that would annoy people. No, not at all. Here, not the case here at all. It's something that I personally enjoyed quite a bit, and if I had to say something I really did enjoy Absolute Instincts by Acqua Di Gio today. I'm just gonna wear the rest of my sample probably tomorrow. And I think I need a bottle of this because I just think it's a great addition to the Acqua Di Gio flankers. And so far, out of one wearing, probably, I don't want to say that fast, but it is one of my favorites, if it's not the favorite of the flankers of Acqua Di Gio so far. Alright guys, it's around 6:30 right now, and by this time the fragrance is totally gone, especially that I changed my t-shirt that I was wearing earlier. The fragrance is gone, and I had to like respray a couple of small sprays just to see how the fragrance is gonna react me going to the gym. I'm just gonna go to the gym for a little bit, and I'll see. I don't know if I'm just gonna record this video or that phase or that segment of this video. I just want to try this phase out mostly for myself, just to see how this fragrance reacts in the high heat situation and the sweating situation. I truly like this fragrance so far, and I really think it's a really solid release from the house of Acqua Di Gio. Acqua Di Gio Absolu Instinct. Great one.